But I wanted to get to a bigger point. Because the time comes, somewhat pun intended, for us to take the gloves off when it comes to Jake Paul.
Loses a unanimous decision to Jake Paul in 2025. The fight has not even played out yet.
Fix on the fights. It's not fair. It's an embarrassment on boxing. He shouldn't be doing this. It's so embarrassing. He's fighting old men.
Stephen A. Smith shows that Jake Paul's fights might be fixed by criticizing the way he always picks much older opponents. He is so angry that he says it's time to take off the gloves, both physically and figuratively. Smith brings up Mike Tyson at 58 years old to show that this isn't the first time Jake has faced someone much older. He says it's risky and wrong.
If you like this, please subscribe Punch Vista and click the bell icon for more latest and interesting videos.
These are the kind of things that I'm talking about here. Boxing's a skill. Let me give y'all an example. Remember Francis Ngannou? Remember that monster? That Nigerian nightmare? Remember him? And then we saw him show up and show a little skill against Tyson Fury, who came there out of shape. What happened when he got into the ring with Anthony Joshua? He got put to sleep much in the same way Nate Robinson got put to sleep. Boxing is a skill. Jake Paul is a professional. He trains. At some point in time, I don't give a damn if it's a light heavyweight. Beterbiev, Bivol, a super middleweight, Canelo, Mexican monster, David Benavidez, somebody that actually has a reputation.
And he accuses Jake of using big pay to get old athletes to fight just to make money. People were confused when, in the middle of the 7th round of Jake Paul's fight with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., some fans said that online sources had already shown Jake as the winner. This announcement made too soon made people very worried about the fairness of the fight. How could a stage show what happened before the final bell? This event has raised more questions about planned outcomes, adding fuel to claims that Jake Paul's boxing career has been rigged. For doubters, it wasn't just a bug. It looked like proof of power from behind the scenes.
As you are watching this video, Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez are currently right now in the 7th round of their fight. But when you go to Google and Google the fight, it gives an accurate breakdown of all their past fights. And then it comes to the current fight, and it says that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. loses a unanimous decision to Jake Paul in 2025. The fight has not even played out yet. Yet they're saying that this is the end results as they are fighting right now, currently as it stands. This leans testament to the fact that people state that Jake Paul has his fights fixed. What's your thoughts on this? This is nasty work. Unbelievable. This is Google. Google it yourself. Peace.
Many fans found it hard to reconcile Julio's seemingly passive performance with the image he once carried. He stayed strangely still for most of the fight and didn't show much energy for a seasoned boxer. The lack of offense raised questions in the final 2 rounds. When he finally threw a few punches, it looked more like an attempt to save face than win. Viewers coined the nickname fake. Paul suggested that Jake was not meeting real resistance and implied the fight was more performance than sport.
40 in 6 months. And he's been off the El Chapitos. He's been off the El Mayo Zambada up his nose. So he's probably more like 48 adjusted. A 48-year-old man. Okay. There's numerous angles here, right? Was he paid not to throw punches? That's possible. Is he just 48 in La Coca years? That's also possible. What we know for a fact is, Fake Paul's useless, honestly. He's proper useless. Chavez like this, just standing there. No pace. In the last few rounds he had a little bit of pace. Even then, Fake Paul just clings on though. Fake Paul's, I've been saying this, Fake Paul's got no inside at all. He's got no stand and let's have a look. Let's work here if he's coming at me. He clings on for dear life. He kind of pushes his punches out, slap, slap, slap. No, all this talk of power. These dudes. Chavez actually, he looked a bit smaller than Fake Paul. Fake Paul's not a cruiserweight. He's a light heavyweight, honestly. He's so soft. He's got like these big rubber dingy arms. Big rubber, soft. Not. Chavez looked more like an athlete. But that'll be on. Well, is Jake Paul going to fight anyone? They're already walking back the Zerdo situation. Oh, Zerdo don't sell. Well, we knew Zerdo didn't sell.
People writing some fans still question the fight's legitimacy. Viewers feel something wasn't right and continue talking about it online. Skeptics think Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s lack of offense was suspicious and say that this fight was rigged. As one whisperer tweeted, Jake Paul fight clearly rigged. No way a real boxer sat there for 8 rounds barely throwing a punch, but in the last 2 rounds he starts to really box and looks fresh as hell. Nah, you can't tell me anything. He was told to lose this fight and, in the end, try and get the win. Mismatch fights involving stars like Jake Paul have become more common, with fans drawn in by the spectacle rather than the sport. The novelty of influencers entering the boxing ring has created massive interest, but it comes at a cost. True boxing fans lament how these fights favor marketability over merit. The hype overshadows fair competition, and when names like Chavez Jr. get involved, people expect a fight, not a staged play. Yet with more eyes watching, debate becomes the fuel that keeps this form of entertainment alive.
Felt like boxing's pretty rigged overall.
Yes, Rick, dude. I mean, so many politics, even with, MMA, man, there's so many politics. There's no more art anymore. It's just, let's get an influencer in there. I get it. It's like generating money because our attention span is so short. You look at clips now, it's like 7 seconds. I saw a dude slamming a lady the other day and they were like, oh my God, that dude is, I'm like, well, what the do? I'm just going to pick somebody and slam them. Where's the whole video? And our attention span is just so small. So money talks, of course. Yeah, let's get an influencer in there who has no style, but it draws attention. It's just dumb.
There's an alternative angle that has been highly debated. Some say this wasn't about a fix, but about money. Julio's dismal punch count of only 13 over the course of the fight has been interpreted by some as proof that he didn't bother preparing for it. To them, it wasn't a rigged fight, it was an easy paycheck. Critics say Julio Sr. should have stepped in to protect the family name. From what many call a public humiliation, accepting the bout in that state felt like cashing in at the cost of pride.
A couple of shocking results. I think that Jake Paul undercards and the promotional arm of his brand, I think, is the most fun part of what Jake Paul brings to boxing. Honestly, I think long term, I think that's what we can hold hope for. Because Jake's fights are, this one was borderline atrocious, and kind of the writing was on the wall. But I gotta admit, even I bought drank the Kool-Aid, and mainly I drank the Kool-Aid because Chavez Sr., who also is disgraceful for doing this, made me believe, and I think, this has been the problem with Chavez Jr. He's been enabled constantly by the media, the promoters, his family, and all this other stuff. So he never really shows up prepared. He never cares and just shows up to get paid and basically steals the bag every single time. And he did it tonight again. The reason I actually thought this fight had a chance was because Chavez Sr. Guaranteed us that his son was motivated and was having a training camp. So, as much of a Hall of Fame career as the father had, he's the con artist, I guess, must run in the family, because Junior's been a con artist his whole career, but at least he's been enabled through it, But now the father doing this, I mean, you knew already your son wasn't going to be ready. You put your own reputation on the line and sold us this crap. And then ultimately your son throws what most guys will throw in a round. He throws it through 10 rounds. It was actually kind of really insane.
Jake Paul has pushed back strongly against reports, especially regarding the upcoming fight with Mike Tyson. He says that these accusations are baseless and rooted in jealousy or fear of his success. According to him, critics label every major fight as rigged to downplay his efforts. Yet with his opponents often being retired legends or inactive fighters, fans aren't buying the story. The Tyson fight in particular has caused even more scrutiny because of Jake's history of controversial matchmaking.
After I beat Mike Tyson, the amount of people saying this is rigged was crazy. They like showed this clip of Mike Tyson going to swing at me with a left hook, and he like stopped doing it, but saw I had my right hand up. So he would have like swung like this, I catch it and shoot. He's leaning forward like I could have knocked him out. So that's why he stopped throwing it. And it's like they play this one clip and it has literally 50 million views on TikTok, but the average person doesn't understand boxing.
Boxing coach and former Olympian Tony Jeff added his voice to the conversation, saying that people are quick to cry foul when they don't want to recognize Jake's wins. He pointed out that most of Jake's wins came against older or less competitive opponents. In that sense, Jeff wasn't exactly defending Jake's skills, but more so challenging the public's readiness to name every win as scripted. He stressed that, while the wins may not be against elite boxes, that doesn't automatically mean they were fake.
You might be raging and saying, but he's fixing the fights. It's not fair. It's an embarrassment on boxing. He shouldn't be doing this. It's so embarrassing. He's fighting old men. Well, is it a fix? No, mate. It's not a fix. Is Julio Cesar Chavez past his best? Yes. Was Mike Tyson past his best? Absolutely, mate. Now, if you look at all of the great fighters, look at all of the records, and you can go on BoxRec and see this, you'll see that they are fighting either one of two people. Either a person who's a journeyman, who's coming in there just to lose and give the fighter their experience, or they'll be fighting someone who might have been a former champion who is now past it. And finding these right opponents is key for the development of any fighter, not just someone like Jake Paul, but any fighter. Now, with Jake, because he's got so much attention on him, people are seeing this. Whereas normally, fighters are not even live on TV until they've had X amount of fights. If you look at someone like Floyd Mayweather, look what we fought in his 4th pro fight, or even his 10th pro fight. Some of these fights will not be on TV. And now Jake is on TV and he's fighting former world champions, which he's fought a few now. I think everyone should give him respect now as a fighter. Fighting someone like that and putting so much pressure on himself as well. Now, do I think that fight and other fights was rigged? Absolutely not. I think that Jake is very smart. He's picking the right fights, but at the same time, he's developed as a very good fighter now. There's no denying that he is a very good fighter now. Yes, he did lose that one fight to Tommy Fury by, was it a split?
That's it for today's movie. Stay tuned.